This portion of the CU podcast is brought to you by The Perfect Gene. Guys, this is an urgent PSA. Think you've mastered the look of sweatpants and joggers? You're one step away from pajamas in public. Your significant other said you look like a slob. It's time to show your sexy ass in jeans.
The Perfect Gene makes great-looking, perfect-fitting jeans that are as comfortable as sweatpants and more stretchy than a kangaroo's pouch. It's made from a special denim fabric that's super soft, just like sweatpants or joggers, but doesn't make you look like a slob. The best part? They make 6 fits, from skinny to thick, waist sizes from 26 to 50, and lengths from 26 to 38. So whether you're a thick daddy, short king, or anything in between, they perfectly fit your body and accentuate your assets, pun intended. Love these Perfect Jeans. When Pat told me about them, I was a little skeptical. I didn't think I was going to like a stretchy jean. And I got them, and I immediately texted him. I said, these are really damn comfortable. The Perfect Gene always has free shipping, exchanges, and returns. You can have peace of mind knowing that your order is completely risk-free.
It's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectgene.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code CUPodcast15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectgene.nyc with promo code CUPodcast15. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the CU Podcast. Tell them we sent you. F your khakis and get the Perfect Gene. All right, Ian.
Yeah.
You know what we like here on the CU Podcast?
What was that?
We like retro video games.
Oh.
Especially when Nintendo sort of dips their toe in the water here and there.
Yeah.
When it comes to, because we can get a nice chunky bite out of a topic. Well, Nintendo less than a week ago announced Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. I'll repeat that. Nintendo announced a modern game on Nintendo Switch called Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. What you may say, if you're listening to this podcast, you know what Nintendo World Championships is. It was part of PowerFest 1990 originally. They just brought it back in 2017. They brought it back. Do I have that right? They brought it back in 17.
I haven't really paid attention, honestly.
It's right there. 15. I'm a fucking idiot. I have a Sandy from Best Buy. And I'm like looking at it. I'm like, they brought it back
6 feet away from me.
I'm a fucking idiot. I have one of the standings from the Best Buys they did. They ran it in 2015 in Southern California. It was only 8 Best Buys, I believe, to qualify. And then you went to the main event, which I forget where the main event was held. I believe it was at a PAX, but I'm not positive. In 2015, I forget where they did the main event for 15. Then I believe they did it again in 2017. Does that ring a bell? So it's back again, but they're going to monetize it as a video game and come out with it. And it's interesting. Yeah, they did it again in 2017.
Okay.
As well, and that was also in Best Buys. So yeah, what are your initial thoughts about this? It's basically what is it? 14 different NES titles, 13, and then a bunch of like speedrunning competitions that they created mini games from those.
Let me say what I want to say, and then I'll say I'll say something more reasonable and thought out, because I realize I'm being silly here. This to me smacks of chum in the water for the nostalgia poisoned. This is one of the easiest, laziest things Nintendo could do.
Lazy.
Yes, okay. Lazy. We're going to shove ROMs on this cartridge. We're not even going to give you the full playable ROMs. We're going to make some speedrunning challenges, and we're going to sell it to you for $30. The actual software does nothing for me. I think that they kind of already did this before in a much more interesting way with NES Remix.
They did it twice, yeah.
They did it for the Wii and for the 3DS.
They did
slightly
the
different
pack, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. They did the Ultimate. And even I didn't really, because it was interesting and fun, but it still felt kind of lazy. I felt like that was more creative. This, without looking at the challenges, I just feel like if it's all speedrunning, I think it's a lazier package.
I agree. Okay.
So I think it's very lazy. However, and this again is kind of the chum in the water thing. There is a special physical collection set.
Oh, I want to get to that.
And while it does not appeal to me in any way, I do think they probably put more effort into putting the set together than they did the game. They put together something nice that if this is something you're interested in, I do think the physical set is pretty cool. but I just have no interest in it at all.
Let's talk about, we'll stick on the game first before we get to the package. So it's 150 challenges over 13 games. Okay. So you have stuff like Legend of Zelda, you have all 3 Super Mario Brothers, you have Donkey Kong, you have Metroid, you have Kid Icarus, which kind of shocked me to see Kid Icarus in there, but they're going for their back catalog there.
Kid Icarus is tough too, so that would be good for speedrun stuff.
Yeah, but it was still shocking that to go to Kid Icarus, but I thought, okay. According to their marketing on the Nintendo's website, select the challenge, see how quickly you can blaze through the first level of Super Mario Brothers, or how fast you can gobble up an enemy in Kirby's Adventure. Before you get started, you can watch a video clip showing how to complete the challenge. Use it as a guide for your own run. It's speed run like the wind. Complete challenges to earn a letter ranking. If you play a challenge again, your previous best run will play side by side with your current run. See if you can set a new personal best. Unlock more challenges with coins. Compete against players around the world. It's local as well, obviously. Challenge your friends. So the 13 games again. We have Excite Bike, Ice Climber, Balloon Fight, Kid Icarus.
You're more
Kirby's Adventure.
confused by Kid Icarus than Ice Climber?
No, because now I see Ice Climber. Ice Climber, that'd be a tough one.
It's just all the black box. It's all the retro stuff. It's all the stuff that they bring up in Smash Brothers that younger generations may not know about.
Oh, Super Mario Bros. The lost levels they put in there. The original Donkey Kong still doesn't have the one level probably.
It never will.
And the one that they always should have had, Excite Bike. That's a perfect one for competitions. So it's an interesting list there. Of course, you're not going to have you're not going to get the rights to get Tetris on there again, or Rad Racer. You could have difficulty with
Square.
So it's like all right, okay. I'm not as on the lazy track as you, and this is why. It's if you get the digital, it's $30. It's not a $60 game. So,
no, I don't think the price is. I'm not concerned about the price. I just think it's a lazy package.
At $30, I think it's not terrible. Plus, we don't know what all the challenges are yet. It's kind of like, well, we're not going to show you all the challenges. Yeah, you're right. If they're all literally speedrun, that's not fun at all.
I don't care how complex of a wrapper you put on it. I don't care how you wrap in the online. Nintendo's never very good about online anyway. Yeah, that's just it's lazy. It's fucking lazy.
But if they. Well, as I said, it says test your speedrunning skills. So you got to give me more challenges than that. You got to give me something besides speedrunning.
And here's the thing. What kills me about this is even if you just assume that everyone who has it has Nintendo Online, not everyone does, and not everyone will in the future. Eventually, it's going to go down. I don't understand it because I have seen nowhere that says the full games are going to be on there.
Oh, they will not be on there. The full games.
Right, but that seems like it should be obvious that they should be on there, and Nintendo won't do it, and I think that's where I get very, very angry.
Well, because you got to get Nintendo Switch Online to get the
Pat,
games.
I said that. If you actually want people to interact with your games and you want people to learn something from them, I mean, this is clearly going for some sort of historical thing because it's referencing the NES World Championships. Yeah. You put the fucking ROMs on there. They don't cost you a goddamn thing. Yeah. And Nintendo Online has plenty of other stuff that's worth paying for.
So you're saying give it to the people that want to buy this as a set of games.
Give them 13 fucking games and then have the...
I don't think it's a bad idea, but they would never sell that for $30 only. 13 of those games.
Nintendo would then charge $60 for it.
Maybe
and make it something more full. Include some fucking history about the games. Do something like Digital Eclipse does.
This is what I think is actually lazy.
Okay.
I agree with you on some point. There's other ways you can have game competitions besides speedrun. You can do a high score challenge.
Yes.
Like you can do something like collect a certain number of rupees, which isn't necessarily speedrunning. You can maybe game the system and go after the tech types give you more blue rupees, for example. You learn strategies. Like you can hollow out different things that isn't just the fastest to do a challenge. You can incorporate high score easily on Donkey Kong.
Well,
you can do these things that I think where it's like, this is where I'm turned off because I don't like speedrunning everything. No. Certain things I could probably do. Other things I would prefer to have a knockout challenge or a high score.
And everything is going to have an upper limit. Collecting a certain number of rupees. People will figure out a way to find an upper limit. High scores, like Donkey Kong, there's a method to it. However, it's far more obviously speedrunning has upper limits, and it's far more interesting to look at the challenges in other ways than just beat this time.
I think it'd be more interesting to be like, you have 5 minutes in Legend of Zelda, get as many different items as you can in 5 minutes, go. Like, to me, that's more interesting, because they're like, okay, I can find the bombs, I can buy a key, I can, like, that's like, you can carve out different paths of doing things, and you can experiment.
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of thing that I would think would be really cool. I don't think that's in here.
No, I don't think it is either.
Like
and then the thing I've got to say is you look at.
You okay?
Atari did this better. When you have a chance to introduce people to 13 fucking games through speedrunning like this,
well,
like I said, it's not just including the ROMs, but include some history to the games too. Well, there's no reason why this couldn't have been something more. There's no reason why this couldn't have been fleshed out into a $60 package that people would fawn over.
Well, let's be honest though. Like, people buying
about
these.
About what? Nintendo's a massive company. No. They can do this.
These are not esoteric Atari titles. These are, everyone buying this knows almost all of these games. Let's be honest.
Pat, we're getting to the point where people don't.
They don't know Legend of Zelda and the Super Mario Brothers
They
games?
don't know the earliest ones. Well, Pat, we're 40.
The way it's marketed, it's marketed to 40-year-olds. Have you seen the marketing?
They expand the market.
A lot of Nintendo's I don't disagree with you, but a lot of Nintendo's marketing on the Switch is for our generation.
I don't think so.
You haven't seen the commercials where it's literally
okay. The initial launch commercials, especially too. You're right. They do market a lot towards us. I'm saying they also market to kids. But you are right. Yes. They do. I concede. They do a lot of marketing to our age range.
Yes.
When you have an opportunity like this,
I understand, but like Legend of Zelda is every Nintendo fan knows what Legend of Zelda is.
Throw the fucking ROM on there. People can play it 500 ways anyway.
I think the bigger sin is not actually having a Nintendo World Championships challenge of multiple games. Why?
Like stringing them all together?
Putting 3 games together.
Do we know that? See, again, I'm hoping that's something that they just left out.
That is the sin of sins, because that's what Nintendo World Championship Challenge is.
If that's true, I think even lower of it, because I just assumed that they would string challenges together.
You can't program
they gotta.
Something like this. At the top of my head, out of these games, fastest to get through the first 2 stages of Donkey Kong, then an Ice Climber challenge, and then like Excite Bike. Something like that. Like, give me 3 games, different gameplay.
But again, if it's all just speedrunning, it's not interesting.
I'm shocked that there's no Dr. Mario. Like, the Nintendo puzzle game of that era, I'm almost shocked that they don't have.
All of those are black box games, right? Except for Lost Worlds.
Silver.
So black and silver, yeah.
But they could have. No, Kirby's Adventure isn't. Kirby, that's a more modern.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm shocked there's no Dr. Mario. When I saw this, I'm like, that is a puzzle game that you have all the rights to. You don't have to license it from the Tetris folks.
Yeah, you don't gotta have Tetris. You have, honestly, what I would consider the second best thing. I love Dr. Mario.
That, to me, was shocking. Especially since they used Dr. Mario on their Challenge 91 game. That was one of the 3 games, I believe.
Well, I mean, they just had that Dr. Mario cell phone game, too, phone game.
We don't want to talk about that. But Nintendo got out of that market, the most part, thankfully. I'm shocked. I'm almost shocked that they don't have that. Like, unless that's a secret, that to me would be the advertising. That is what would interest me the most versus speedrunning Legend of Zelda 30 different ways. Like, give me 3 or 4 or 5 different NWC challenges. If they don't do that, that's a shock. The other thing I would have loved, as I'm not saying this is what gets on me more than you're saying the history thing, this would have been a great chance to sell me Super Mario 35 to play it again.
Sure.
If you put Super Mario...
it's great.
If you put Super Mario 35 in this, you could have charged me $60 to the 30 and I would have bought it. Because I fucking loved that game.
It was great.
And that's a chance for Nintendo to monetize it instead of free game. So, like, I'm not saying... Okay. On that service, I'm disappointed. Now, on the collector side of what you get for the package, that's... For $60, I believe this is a really good value if you go for the deluxe version.
I wish I was excited because it's a nice package. I like pins. You get 5 enamel pins.
You get 5 enamel pins. You get a little holder for we'll get to the denouement. You get a little sticker cards for each of the 13 games.
I think they're just art cards.
Oh, they're just art cards. They're not stickers.
I don't think they're stickers, but they're nice.
They're just art cards. Okay.
They're glossy.
You get a physical game card as well, which looks like is that on a foam thing? I gotta get a close up. And this is the cool thing that people like me like. You get a gold Nintendo World Championships replica game cartridge on a little plastic, little clear standee with the sleeve. For $60, you got me. I pre-ordered one. You got me.
I mean, it's cute.
Me.
It's cute. I actually, and I've never displayed them anywhere, but I've had things before that come with like glossy art cards.
Sure. And
I really like them. I like flipping through them. I think they're all generally postcard size too, so you could use them as postcards.
Oh, really?
I'm an enamel pin collector. I like enamel pins, so that's cool. And I think the cart is, a very cool idea for certain people. It's not the first time Nintendo's done that. So the Nintendo World Championships NES Edition game comes with a physical cartridge. Like a physical Switch cartridge.
Sure.
But they did the replica NES cartridge once before when they were selling, when they released Fire Emblem 30th Anniversary, which is a translated ROM of the original Fire Emblem game for the Famicom.
Which never came out.
Never came out here. And it came with I can't remember what else it came with, but most notably, it came with, I think it was a clear reproduction NES cartridge with like a label on it in art that would have art of the game. So it was really cool.
It was a great card.
Oh, it was great. Okay,
but it also had a whole book with it.
Right.
It was $50, and it had an NES replica cart, which is funny because it didn't come out as an NES cart. I think we talked about time. Why is it not a Famicom cart? It had a replica art piece, and it had a 222-page deluxe hardbound art book. Had a download code, an NES instruction manual localized, and a fold-out world map. And that was $50.
Oh, this one shows that it's clear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was gray. Okay.
I thought I saw a gray one before too, so actually I don't know, but the one image I was looking at showed it as clear.
So I think issues with the potential game aside, for $60, I think you get a decent amount.
Sure,
for that.
It is clear. You can see that's actually pretty cool because it sits in front of the sleeve.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's neat.
So this is a gray one though. This is a gray cart with a Nintendo World Championships, a black label on it.
No, it's gold.
I'm sorry, gold. I'm sorry, this one's gold. Gold cart with the which is interesting because they didn't use them in the competition gold ones, but Nintendo doesn't give a shit. People don't care. There you go. Maybe.
Well, if a person in general knows about one of these, they probably think of the gold one.
They know about that gold one, and whatever crazy person would spend money to buy it. So they have that. However, if you go the Famicom version, this to me is an insane value because instead of getting, it's almost like I'm selling it, but like this is the one I actually wanted, but I can't find a pre-order for it. Instead of getting the gold replica cartridge, you get 2 Famicom Switch controllers. The same way you can order the NES ones, you get the Reading
for the online service
Famicom ones for $60. Like the controllers themselves, I think Nintendo sells them for like $40. Well, at least
I was
for
going to
that
say,
or more.
if you actually got that for $60, I feel like you actually got the game is free.
You're getting you're almost getting the game and everything else for free in the pin. So I'm like, damn it! In Japan, they're making out like bandits on that.
The Japanese one doesn't have the cartridge.
No cartridge, but you get the controllers, which to me is a lot better because you can actually use them.
You would have bought both.
I'm trying to buy both.
Okay.
I'm trying.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah. Because I bought the NES ones when they first came out because I thought they're going to be limited. They're not. I think you can still buy those and the N64 ones and the Super Nintendo ones, which I don't own the N64 one. But like the Famicom ones, I didn't know they made those. I forgot. I totally forgot. But I guess they did that originally. So yeah. So anyway, like I said, Ian wants more of the history side attached. I just wanted it. I want an NWC competition on the cart. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I'm like, wow, they're going to do a bunch of 3 mini games together. That to me would be super interesting to have.
I want to see something else. You want to see something else. But what it comes down to is we both want to see more.
Yeah, it would have been nice. But again, it's
more effort.
It's a $30 game, so I can forgive him a little. It's not $60. Like if that's the case, like I'd be like, no. So like I will play this and see if I get into it. And maybe it is a nice party game. Wait to see. Like they probably don't want to spill the beans and all the challenges because maybe some are goofy. We don't know.
This is something I will definitely wait for the review on because I don't need the collector's edition. I don't even really need this physical. This actually sounds like a game that might be better for digital for popping in and out depending on what it offers you.
I see what you mean, but Versus keeping the card inside?
Well, yeah, because it's a game that you're probably going to play in shorter bursts than other things if you're doing speedrunning challenges.
Sure, and Switch doesn't allow you to like pre-install a game. You have to have the card,
I would, probably do it digital. I mean, reviews could come out and change my mind. If the challenges are more than speedrunning, and if it's more in line with, well, it wouldn't be in line with Remix, but more interesting, and the online is magically somehow good, like the leaderboards and stuff like that, I would consider it. I would consider it.
I got to get a piss real quick and we'll do our last topic.
That's fine.